Hi, this is the Filter Images Assignment movie, and I'm going to break it down into probably 5 movies, showing you each filter in its separate movie and then how to composite with what I refer to as copy merged layers. This is my finished image, which appears on the one of the final pages of the assignment guide. And what I would like to do is to begin again with this assignment, and we're going to start with a couple of the more difficult ones. The 5 lights up filter is the most difficult one. I'll see what the PDF file has as a starting point, and I might go exactly by it or not. It doesn't matter which one you do first or second. They all pretty much go hand in hand. In the first one, it starts with the 5 lights up filter. So what I'm going to do here is I am going to open the initial assignment, and in the initial assignment I'm going to follow and do what the 5 lights up filter is. I may not go step by step, but this guides you through the entire process. Obviously the first thing to do is to save as, and I will call this Sorial _ filter assignment, and I'll save it to the same folder that I'm working in, of course. And now let's just begin. I'm going to do what the assignment guide says. Let me minimize my screen very fast here and go ahead and show you the 5 lights up filter. This whole process of building the actual gradient you have to name. So I want you to name it yellow to red or red to yellow. I don't really care. But I'm going to go ahead and do this, and then we're going to continue to go right into the way that you actually do name them and save them. Do you see where I'm circling right there, where it says layer number 1? I'm going to rename that red to yellow background, and when I get it correct, I don't do this in the handout guide, but I'm going to do it for you now. I'm going to duplicate this layer, because if I don't do the 5 lights up filter well enough, I can simply get rid of the layer and start over again. So your ultimate goal here is to create a 5 lights up filter, and the first go around on these numbers that I'm going to give you pretty much give you this look to the filter. Now for some of you, the second exposure or the second setting is going to be, let me just minimize the screen one more. The second one is going to be maybe the right one. So here I see, if you see where I'm circling, I have to do the exposure and the ambience 3 times, maybe not 3. So you see what your eyes tell you. If you have good contrast and good flame, your goal is to have white at the center of the flame. So let's go ahead and go right to that, and let me minimize the screen and keep these up. I say here -25 and 50 on exposure and ambience, and that's the first go around, so we'll come back to that. I may not use those numbers. I may use something close to those numbers. So it just depends on how it looks. So let's duplicate this layer, and let's add a layer mask to this, getting rid of the bottom half. So watch how I'm going to click away the bottom background layer. I'll name this 5 lights up and hit the return key. And now I'm going to add a layer mask, and in the layer mask I want to be working in, of course, black on the foreground color. In doing so, with black on the foreground color, when I click the G key for gradient or hit the gradient tool, you see up here in the gradient in the options it'll be black. If I were to hit the X key, it would be white. If I hit the X key again, it's black. So if you're not in foreground to transparent, I want you to make sure you are by going up to here. Remember, if you're in white, if the foreground color is white, the second icon will appear white to the checkerboard background. You just click the X key and make it black. Okay, so I am doing the correct thing. And now I'm going to add black on the bottom, but notice how I'm going to start my drag holding the shift key, and I'm going to get rid of the lower portion of this, allowing enough of the flame room to actually do its thing. Okay, now I want to make sure in the options you're clicked on the first or the most left icon here for just a natural linear gradient. So what I want to do now is to save the file, of course, and then I'm going to add the 5 lights up filter. Now that requires a new layer, which I'm going to move below that layer, and for the time being I'm going to turn everything off except for layer 1, which I'm going to name red and yellow. And now in red, whoops, it's not revved, it's red, Brian. Okay, get rid of the F. Okay, and in red to yellow, let's go make a red to yellow. So let's just click up here, and let's make a red to yellow, and then we're going to save the red to yellow background. Now, if you understand what color stops and opacity stops are, this up here is an opacity stop, this is a color stop. So if you want to change the color, you click this. So let's go find a red right here, just any red will do, a nice good deep or rich red right there, that's fine. And now let me click the color stop over here. Now in the color stop I have nothing on my opacity. Actually, because I clicked it, it might be 100%, but opacity doesn't show up here. So I'm going to have to click the opacity stop above it and get rid of the transparent background. First I'll make it yellow. Could have done it the other way around, it doesn't matter. Now I have red to yellow, but because the opacity stop is on 0, let's go ahead and click the opacity stop and drag the bar all the way to the 100, and now I have red to yellow. Let me save red to yellow as red yellow. I'm going to look in yours, and if you don't have it saved, I'm not going to count this filter, okay? It has to be named red yellow gradient. So let's go ahead and click OK, and now I have my red to yellow gradient, which is saved. I can go back here and use it at any time. Actually, it's not saved. Where did it go? Oh, you know what? Sorry. I completely apologize to you. I made a mistake. Let's go ahead and hit New, and in New, now it shows up. Okay? Now what I want to do is to double click it and name it yellow. So that's okay. I still had red to yellow loaded into my gradient. It was an easy process to fix. Now I have red and yellow showing up here, and it's fine. So now I want red on the bottom and yellow most of the way up. But here's the key. Do not have the yellow be much higher than this. That was a decent one. I'll try again, get it a little bit sharper, but not too sharp. So let me Command-Z it back. Start on the bottom, hold the Shift key, go up about 1.5 inches or 1.25 inches. That is a good amount of red to yellow. That'll allow for yellow to be at the top of the flame. Okay? As I told you, let's duplicate that layer. Now there are some key elements that I want you to understand with the 5 lights up filter. Key. Now listen. Let's go to Render, Lighting Effects. In Lighting Effects, let me move it over slightly and change it to, leave it on Spotlight, but change the style to 5 lights up. Now here's a word of warning. Do not ever hit this delete key. You will delete the 5 lights up filter from the plugins folder in Photoshop. It doesn't just delete what you did now, it deletes the entire thing from the plugins folder. So I have put a copy of the 5 lights up plugin to restore it. But that's okay. I want you to understand what you're seeing here. In 5 lights up filter, this is what I want you to do. I want you to pick up all 4 of the lights and throw them away in the trash. We are going to make one be the right one. One be one that works. So I'm going to move it. I'm going to thin it down by grabbing this little icon right here. I'm going to turn it so it's nice and straight, just like that. Now I'm going to move it by holding the white thing right there and move it right over to the edge with a little overlapping. Now that's going to cause my flame to be right on the bottom. Now watch what I do. I'm going to hold Command Option and I'm going to drag a new one over to this side. It's based on the same one that I just had, and I have to make sure I have them pretty even in their amount that is down, because if you hold the Shift key it doesn't work. So I always put one on the left, I put one on the right, then I hold Command Option, drag one to the center. Now, see how easy, if you let go of Command Option, you can actually, I'm a little too low, so go up a little bit higher. Okay, I'm decently separated into, let me a little bit more. Okay, that's a good general feel. Now I'm going to hold Command Option again, and let's put one directly in between of these and try not to get it too far down. Whoops, it didn't work. Let me hold Command Option. I must have let go of Command Option, which was a silly thing to do. I'm going to put one over here. Okay, I must have let go of Command Option. I like having the one in the center, so I will put it back in the center, and then I can put the one over to the right here a little bit better in the split. And this takes a little while. That's why I'm going to split these into 5 movies. Okay, let me hold Command Option on this one, drag directly over. Do not let go of Command Option until you let go of the mouse, and that's what I did before. Now, see how it looks like my separations are fairly decent? If they aren't, throw away the layer and start over again, but do not hit the delete key up here. Goodness gracious, no alive, do not hit the delete key. Now if you have 4 good flames and 1 bad one, then you have to start over. So I'm going to try my best to get them all to be in similar fashion. A little bit more on this one, a little bit higher. Okay, a little bit higher on this one. Okay, and a little bit higher on this one. In fact, it looks like I'm going up too high. But yes, I am going up too high on this one. I told you it takes a little bit, and I don't have the ability to pause this movie, and I want to make them look a little bit decent. This one needs to go down a little bit. Okay, down too far, Brian. Okay, a little bit higher, right there. Looks pretty good. I don't understand why this one's more yellow. I just think that's because it's so small. I wish they would make this bigger, but they don't. There is no plus or minus sign. So let me go ahead now and see how bad I'm doing. I can obviously tell this is, oh, I'm so picky with this. You can like stop the movie right now and click farther ahead if you want to, but I'm going to go through the process of just making them pretty good. Little tiny bit more on this one. And gosh, see how hard I'm struggling. I want you to struggle too. So hit the OK button and you have the 5 lights up filter. I'm too low on the one side, okay? Let me see what happens if I go Command Z and go directly back into the filter. I don't think that I've messed anything up because the filter will be right back into what I want it to be with the same 5. So see what you can do. If you don't like the effect, then just Command Z it, but don't do anything in between the time. Your job is to go back and immediately fix it. So that should give you a real good help, which is sometimes a good indication by my mistakes on how you can fix it. Now, that one went too low, and that looks pretty good. This one still looks just a hair too low. I wish I could hit the up button, but you can't. Okay, let me hit OK and see what I get now. Okay, good. See how those flames look fairly consistent? There isn't white on the bottom, and the contrast isn't very good. You know what? I forgot something again. Gosh darn it. Command Z it back. And I'm glad you're seeing me do this. I don't care that it takes me a minute. But look, I forgot to change the exposure and the ambience. I'm not going to touch these. I just forgot to change the exposure and the ambience. So let me go back into the PDF file. The first time is -25 and 50. Do not worry if the -25 and 50 go away. So exposure is -25. Now, let me put this ambience on 50 and hit the return key, or the OK button. All right, that's how I want it to look, believe it or not. That's perfect. Now, what I say now is to duplicate the layer, but I'm not going to. Watch what we're going to do again. Let's go to the PDF file very quickly and see that the second time you go to 0 and 30. So 0 and 30 may be enough. So with the same filter, done, just like that. Let's not move any of the, and believe me, I'm going to say something right now that I'm glad you're hearing. Do not shift if you have a mistake made, start over. Okay? Just start over. Go back to 5 lights up filter and just start completely over, because if you move one, then you're going to have a ghost image over here. So what did I say? Now I can't remember. I said 0 and 30. So 0 and 30, and let me hit OK. And now I should get a better contrast with a little bit of white on the bottom. Now, mine are a little pink. I might Command Z this back, but I'm going to try again, just one more time, and I'm going to see what the PDF file says. It says the third time go to 50 and 40, respectively. So let's go to click on the file. Let's go to Filter, Render, Lighting Effects, and let's go to 50 and 40. If I don't like the effect, get it? Filter and Effect. I will start over. 50, and I'll just Command Z back and use the other one. So now this should give me a good, that's way too much. Way too much. I love the white. I just didn't need all that white. So let me go to Command Z it back and reduce the amount of exposure. So let's go to Render, Lighting Effects. Let's go to 50 under Exposure. Let's go to 30 under Exposure. And Ambience we'll leave at 30. So just to minimize those just a little bit more and see what I get. All right, that is just about perfect. I probably could go to 10 and 10. But that is a lot of white. I wanted a little bit of white. Let me, one more time, and then I'll stop, I promise. Let's go to Lighting Effects, and let's go to 15 and 15. And just get a little bit of white on the bottom. That looks a whole lot better. And look at the black around there. Look at that. Looks like a flame shooting out. Let me go Command Z. I'm sorry, Command S to save the file. And let me turn on this image, and now you see how I have a very decent amount of flame and a real good filter effect here. to walk you through the composite image. I'll do it once now and then I'll do it again later. But when you want to make a single image that is based on more than one image, here is the thing, and I wrote it in the handout guide, and as a matter of fact it's right here in the handout guide. Let me go Command 0 on the whole page, and let me go forward to show you the copy merged part of this right here. This gives you a very good step-by-step procedure on how to make a copy merge layer, but I'll go through the whole process but not read these. Here is the process in general. It is to only have visible the layers you want, be selected on one of the layers. Go Command A to select all, Shift Command C to copy merged, click up to your highest layer and go Command V to paste. You now have your single image based on these two images called a composite image. So let's go in here now, and I would actually name this small lights up, or 5 lights up. And in the shrinking process, I could go to Edit, Transform, Scale, make sure the link button is selected, drag across here and go to 40% so it becomes 40%. Hit the Return key, and now for all other images, after I hit the V key to move this up to wherever I want it, after I have all my other images, and I've done it on the same day, I don't ever have to go through and go to that whole process on Edit, Transform. All I have to do is go to Edit, and that's a quick key command, Edit, Transform again. So all I'd have to go is have the layer, go Shift Command T, as you can see right there, okay, and it would shrink to 40%. So let me go ahead and Command S to save the file and stop this movie at this point, and then I'll pick it up again with the next one.